Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, Local Works Wheat Ridge, provided by its Executive Director, Paige Piper.
Local Works is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make Wheat Ridge a more vibrant and sustainable place to live and work. Our mission and action is programming that provides neighborhood revitalization and small business support, keeping and growing the businesses we know and love in Wheat Ridge. In simpler form, we provide connection. Connection to business, connection to community.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Meg Smith.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Today, I'm here with Jeff Doland, owner of Diamond Club Baseball. How are you, Jeff?
I'm good, Meg. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining me and spending a little time with us this morning. We're excited to, share some info about Diamond Club Baseball. So tell us a little bit about the organization and how you, got into this.
Okay. We're a player development organization for young baseball players. We start as young as 5 years old in what we call our Mini Masters program. Then we go to 8U to 14U. We run competitive tournament teams that travel throughout Colorado and the Western U.S. And then we also run the scout team program for the Colorado Rockies, which is a select group of high school players from around the state of Colorado and the region.
Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, Pee-wee to almost pro.
Almost guys. High school players who have ambitions of going on to play college baseball.
So that's fantastic.
So those are our teams. And then we do a lot of instruction, individual instruction, specializing in pitching and hitting. And we do that for, we run camps, clinics, year round. So it's not just our players that play on our teams, but just the general area around where we're located. Okay,
excellent. So what was your journey getting into running an organization like this?
I grew up playing baseball. My father, who is one of our senior partners here with me as an owner, was a professional baseball player. So I kind of grew up with it. Right. I ended up going on and playing in college, and I kind of fell into this. It wasn't by design. I had some other opportunities to do different things, but as a college player on the side, I started to do some lessons with young players, and something clicked, and I really, really enjoyed it and found that I could do it full time and stay around the game. So I've been very blessed.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, that's a dream come true. Right. Getting to work in your passion, really. So that's fun. Excellent. Well, congratulations. So why do parents and, young players, why do they choose to enroll into Diamond Club activities and your leagues? What is the attraction there?
Well, I think it's it's a few things. I think it's the way that we try to approach things first as teachers. That's what we really look at ourselves as teachers. We try to get our instructors to understand that they're teaching the game. We try to do it in a very positive way. Baseball is a game of tremendous failure, right? When you look at the highest levels of the game, those guys are failing an awful lot. And so staying positive and instilling confidence in players, I think, is really, really important. And then one of the other things that I think that why people choose us is because we're honest, right? We really try to do what's best for the individual player and guide them along the way, and honest in our assessment of, his skills currently and what he needs to do to continue to play the game. If that's what he continues to do, right? I mean, we really, when kids are young, especially, we want to instill a passion for the game that's going to enable them to play for as long as they possibly can, right? As long as they have the the desire and the work ethic. And what it really comes down to is, what that individual player wants out of their experience in baseball.
And yeah, it's a lot mindset. So you're coaching them to be positive and enjoy it.
Right.
Feel. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and once you get to the competitive level, I mean, there's a lot of pressure that's put on young players. At the end of the day, we have to remember that it's a game, and games are supposed to be fun. Right. And so, and going back to what I said about the high rate of failure in this, right, and dealing with adversity, that's tough. And so we really, as coaches, try to define what success means for those players.
Mm-hmm.
It's separate than, numbers, or, going 1 for 4, understanding how to play the game and what success looks like within the game is really what we try to do.
That's awesome. Awesome. So tell us about any hardships. I mean, it must have been really difficult during COVID to keep operating and have everyone participate and be active and near one another. But there could have been other hardships too that you've had to overcome. Tell us about anything that's, strengthened the organization that was, a hardship or a difficult period of time.
Well, I'll tell you, the dealing with the issues surrounding COVID were tough on the organization. There were a lot of sleepless nights trying to figure out, how are we going to get our kids back on the field? And through that entire ordeal, I mean, I think we can all agree that the kids are the ones who suffered the most during that. And so we spent a lot of time trying to be creative through that process, we were doing video lessons. We were doing Zoom calls with our players, trying to get outside as much as we could and navigating through that. It was difficult. A lot of juggling, when you could only have a certain amount of people inside, but we got through it. Again, it's one of those things where, you have to adapt and overcome. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think that we have a terrific set of families that are part of this organization, and they got us through, and we're forever grateful for that.
That's amazing. Yeah. Banding together, sticking with it, and finding a new way. Adaptability was definitely
right.
the key for everyone. Well, that's fantastic. So I'm glad that the families stuck with it and supported the kids because, I mean, my kids, they were home out of school for 18 months.
Right. Well, and they needed that. I mean, they needed to feel like they were a part of something. Right. Oh, yeah. And I saw, I saw smiles on kids' faces, and we really felt that it was our duty to make sure that things ran as normal as possible during that time. But, getting the kids on the field, being with their teammates, that was huge for them during that time. Yeah.
It almost increases the feelings about how positive the experience is post-COVID too, for them to have gone through it. Now they value it more.
I agree.
So I think that was one positive outcome. None of us intended or saw coming, but it's good. Like my kids really want to go to school now.
Yes. Right. Yes. And we really want them to go to school.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So tell us about any news or seasonal information. I know it's, late in the year, but tell us about, anything important that's happening right now with Diamond Club Baseball and, how folks might want to get involved in that.
Sure. Well, we just finished up our fall season for our youth and for our Rocky Scout team players. So we're heading into our off-season program, which is the facility is packed during that time. It's every time of year is fun, but this is really where we can get into seeing the most growth and development in players by getting a chance to work with them on a weekly basis. So next week we start our off-season training programs. Those are group programs. We still have a few slots here and there on the pitching and hitting side. And then we'll run into, as we get closer to the holidays, we'll do some camps and clinics with players, and then after the first of the year, we really kind of get geared up for the spring season.
Excellent. So that's interesting. During the off season, you get to really spend time with them working on specific skills. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll start opening up registration in November for our mini masters program, which is the the first experience that a lot of players have playing baseball. That's the 5U to 8U program. So we'll open up registration for that, and we'll get a chance to work with those guys after the first of the year. And that's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I can only imagine. I mean, they're so cute.
Yeah.
Getting started. That's so fun. And then a lot of them you probably retain up through high school if they stick with the sport, right? So the goal is to kind of give them that, lifelong experience. So. Right.
Yeah. We have a very high retention rate in our program. It's something that we're very proud of. And I attribute a lot of that to our volunteer coaches who do an outstanding job with the players. We really vet those guys to make sure that, they have baseball experience, as coaches. We train them. In fact, we're going to have our first training session of the off season coming up for all of our coaches this coming Wednesday. But that they're there for the right reasons. They're not there just for their individual player, but they're there to help develop the team as a whole. And we've been very, very blessed with the group of guys that we have in our organization. And that's one of the biggest reasons why we retain players, is because the parents see how much our coaching staff cares about their kids, and they can see their kids getting better, and they get incredible experiences, playing the game.
That's awesome. Yeah. They really bond with their respective coach. That's great.
They do. I mean, that serves as a mentor and role model. That's one of our biggest jobs as coaches, is to serve as role models for these young men.
Excellent. And so tell us a little bit about what you guys do in the community. I'm sure you're very involved. You've got a lot of players, a lot of families that you're working with. What does Diamond Club Baseball do, in addition to providing your service in the greater Denver area?
Well, a lot of our players volunteer for various things. Our Rockies scout team players do quite a bit of volunteer work through the organization and through their schools, trying to give back. Our players will come in and serve as mentors to our younger players in the program. But we try to be very active in the community. We're getting ready actually to to participate in a trunk or treat event in the Candelas neighborhood on Saturday. So we're really looking forward to that.
Love it. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah. Trunk or treat is one of the, my kids want to go to all of them.
Right.
I'm like, we don't need that much candy. We used to do the Switch Witch, who would visit the house, but they've figured that out. So. At 10 and 8, I'm no longer able to trick them. Right. So tell us about you. What are you doing for fun when you're not working? And tell us about your family. What's going on with Jeff on the day-to-day?
Well, I work a lot, so I don't have a lot of hobbies. I tell people that my hobbies really revolve around my job, which is great. But when I'm not here in the office or traveling with one of our teams, I love to play golf. I have sort of an addictive, competitive personality that I haven't been able to find a way around. I think that's just being an ex-athlete and a coach. So I love to play golf. I'm lucky that I have a lot of friends who also like to play golf. I'm blessed to have an amazing wife, 2 kids, one who's going to graduate from high school this year and another one who is in 6th grade. So they keep me pretty busy.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
So how should folks get involved with you after hearing the podcast? Just mention, the best ways to connect in case they want more information.
Well, the best way to connect is through our website, which is diamondclubbaseball.net. They can also find us on social media through our Instagram account or our Twitter account. Just search for Diamond Club. For information about our programs, if you would like to call, it's 720-210-9597. And we can discuss the best way to get your player involved in our program, whether that's from a team standpoint or an individual or group training.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to have you back on in the spring. Maybe we could talk then about, the upcoming season and how things are looking for your programs. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get back in touch for that. But anyway, thanks for joining us today, and best of luck with the fall programs.
Thanks for having me, Meg.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com or call 720-295-9588.